Darcula, new phishing as a service, uses 20,000 domains to spoof brands and steal credentials from Android and iPhone users in more than 100 countries. They've been used against multiple services, including postal, financial, government, taxation departments, telcos, airlines, offering fraudsters over 200 templates. One thing that makes the service stand out is that it approaches targets using the Rich Communication Services Protocol.
That is supposed to be the successor for SMS.
Looking at the phishing campaign that they screenshot, these look very familiar because I definitely got that exact message. And I'm curious what other pen testers take. Should we be like buying these services? There's been some MFA bombing that focuses on iOS users.
They're flooding people's devices with password reset prompts. So like it's a built-in prompt that whenever you try and do a password reset, it's just you're getting a bunch of these popping up on your iPhone or your iPad. And the response is allow or don't allow. So they're relying on people to either get sick of it and say, okay, fine, allow, or not know what it is.
I guess MFA fatigue is a thing, and everyone has to live in this world of MFA fatigue.
Yeah, it's like a legit prompt from Apple. You know, no spoofing for the attacker, no typos or suspicious URLs to alert the user.
It keeps repeatedly popping up, closing out all of your other windows and saying, hey, click, do you want to allow this? Yes or no? Hey, do you want to allow this? Yes or no? And the attacker would just persistently keep doing that until you hit allow. Otherwise, it's essentially a denial of service on your phone.
More Linksys routers being compromised. I just feel like that's the coolest name ever. Like, oh, what worm is it? It's the moon worm. This is a constant one we always hear about, right? And it's just pretty much someone using a bunch of home routers as a proxy. 40,000 already infected with 1,000 going up every day. There's more than just Linksys. There's ASUS and stuff. What Soho routers do you guys actually recommend?
Unify stuff is good. What is the other one, Ralph, that you were talking about last week?
Firewalla makes some good products too. Those have come up a bunch of times too, from like if you want to get into some other security stuff.
DIY PFSense setups. You can buy them on Amazon.
OpenSense, those are
OpenSense or whatever.
Devices. Yeah, exactly.
There are digital signs scattered throughout this town. 7-foot electronic ink displays. They display black and white messages such as the town's official schedule, advertisements for businesses, bus schedules, and current weather. So the idea the company is trying to do is they're trying to say, here's how long people stood at the sign looking at our amazing thing that cost $7,000 or whatever.
They're gathering the MAC addresses of the phones, right?
Fun fact about iPhones is they randomize your MAC
yes,
address.
They randomize your MAC address per BSI ID. Android does this as well.
The logic has got to be a little bit questionable because like, you know, the MAC addresses are randomized. They're like, wow, 50 people just walked up and looked at the sign. This is amazing. No, it's just one person with 50 different MAC addresses. Someone put a backdoor in XZ. You know, you've got gzip, you've got xzip, you got zlib, you got 7zip, lzma. There's a bunch of these like helper binaries for decompressing or compressing different formats, right? Basically, certain versions of it between 5.6.0 and 5.6.1 had a backdoor in it.
The way it hooks into systemd, it's basically like, it's not an authentication bypass. It's more of like a RCE. Like anything you send to it will be passed to like the system calls.
It only would apply to people who are running the bleeding edge version and also multiple distributions. So like Debian, Kali, all the common distributions they do run latest versions of things. So if you apt-get upgraded, apt-get dist upgraded or whatever during the time when this package was in production, you would be affected. You have to update again. We've talked about using child CSAM or whatever you want to call it to essentially like cause someone else to be banned or canceled.
They pay someone, they go into your Discord, drop a lot of this material, and then get it banned.
If your Discord gets banned, are you able to appeal that decision? Lock down your Discord even more? Make sure that it's both time-based, account reputation-based, and also just, like history of how many messages you've sent in the chat or that kind of thing.
Join us for live InfoSec news every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Black Hills InfoSec YouTube channel.